Am I audible to you? All online students? Okay, good. So let's start today's class, and I'm giving you three different handouts. Yeah. Yeah. पीछे भी डाल उसको भी डाल तीनों ले लो।
सर एक बार ऐसे क्वेश्चन सॉल्व किए थे उसमें इंटीग्रेटेड हम 6 कैपिटल से आए हैं अगर फॉर एग्जांपल एक कैपिटल के अंदर दो या तीन पॉइंटेड आ रहे हैं जैसे हमारा सेल्स रेवेन्यू आ रहा है फाइनेंशियल के अंदर सेल्स रेवेन्यू आ रहा है रोज सारी तब हमें पर कैपिटल के अकॉर्डिंग मार्क मिलेगा या पर पैराग्राफ के अकॉर्डिंग
पर पॉइंट के अकॉर्डिंग even if you are writing
फाइनेंशियल में 3 पॉइंट आ रहे हैं सोशल में एक
so 3 point means 6 marks.
तो
अब यही तो गेम है. What you need to decide. Okay, so what we are going to go through is in today's class, we are going to have the third day momentum. And let's just quickly start with today's class. Most probably, I'll be taking this class till 10:30, and we'll be trying to end it as soon as possible. I'll try to end it today, but that is not a promise. If we need another class, then we'll be taking it at 3 o'clock tomorrow. But again, we'll try to finish it by today's end. So today's agenda, I was not able to share it with you, but we will be going through SFA model. We'll be going through sort and some other models related to day 4. And then we'll be going through some of the basic techniques. Again, along with this, there are certain areas that I would want to discuss. That is the Bellridge model and a specific article related to that model, and another form of article that is being given by ACCA. So there are two different articles. I'll show you those articles on ACCA platform as well, so that you can have an insight of what these articles are all about. And we'll be going through those articles, and at the end of the day, we will be reaching to a conclusion as to if we use these articles, we will, I guess there will be chances that the exam scenario will include this. So Bellridge model, I insistently, or maybe I dominantly, I started at the end of the day, because this is something which has more probability of being tested in this specific attempt. And why am I saying this is because this article relates to this specific Bellridge model. So we'll be going through this model once again. And let's just quickly start today's class. I hope so. You all must have attended yesterday's question. Have you all attempted? You all must have attempted yesterday's question. Yes or no? मैंने दो और शेयर किए दोनों. Now, I will also be providing you a guidance of what you are going to do after this today's class. I'll also be providing you that from now onwards, you will be having around 1 week or maybe 8 days. So what to do in these 8 days, right? Because your exam is on 6th of September and today is 27th. So you will be having around 6 to 7 days. Now in these 6 to 7 days, if you're going to waste your time in revising stuff, you're not going to clear it. What you need to do, you need to constantly keep on practicing. Now this is like an army style of practicing. My suggestion is to do at least 2 questions, 2 past papers in a day. Although this is something which is a hassle, but I don't think so that you need to revise any technical part from now on. Do you feel like revising any technical part, or are you aware of the modules? Are you modules? Okay. Now before going into details, just write something, and I'm making you guys write the most important part. Please take out your registers or any handout on which you can write this, and write this stuff right now, please. Study plan for the next 1 week. Study plan for the next 1 week. If you want to go through, you can go through the revision. You can go through the workshops. If you want, you can go through the workshop once again, but I don't think so that you need it. So anyone who is outsider, he can go through the workshop handouts and the workshop classes, and you will be more confident enough. But you need to practice the following question from now onwards, and make sure that you are practicing it on CB platform, and sequence should be followed. This sequence should be followed. Number 1, cofold construction. You need to attempt this question in full. Cofold construction, September 2018. Yexmarine, Yexmarine. Yexmarine. Make sure that you follow this sequence. Yexmarine, September 2000, March, June 2021. 2021. Highlight. December 2018. Cofold construction is September 2018. Highlight December 2018. DCS company. इसका ईयर कौन सा? DCS. Specimen कौन सा? 2, 3. Specimen 1. DCS company, specimen 1. Optima company. लेकिन कर लिख तो लो, मतलब आपने कर लिया तो ठीक सही है, छोड़ दो. Optima, December 2021. BCO company, December 2020. BCO, December 2020. Okay, so after solving these five past papers, these six past papers, you will be going through two mock exams. So there are two mock exams, and with some of them are available on CB platform, the others are not available. So you need to look at them. If they are not available, what you can do is you can select the blank workspace, and you'll be easily in a position to solve these exams. Now there is a self-testing mock question as well. So you can write after giving my exams, my two mock exams. What we can do is we'll be going through a self-testing mock exam. So please write NCCP, NCCP, June 2021. NCCP, June 2021. Duels Company, December 2019. हाँ अगर नहीं हो तो कोई और ये नहीं होगा कहाँ है कौन सा हाँ नहीं यही था हाँ हाँ मैंने ईयर क्या रखा है 22 और वो आईटी वाला कौन सा था उसका क्या नाम था आईटी वाला अरे वो जो मुश्किल था नहीं हाँ चलो we'll look into this सही है Now, if you are doing these examination in strict exam condition, you will be in a position to solve the entire papers and make sure that you do them in exam condition. Now, you can give leverage to yourself. For example, first three papers may be attempted within 4 hours and give some grace period to your own self. For example, if you are not able to attempt first paper in 4 hours, give 1 hour of grace period. Then in the second one, give 40 minutes of grace period. Then in third one, give 25 minutes of grace period. And then in fourth one, try to solve it in strict exam condition. Now, one of the way, although I will try to check as many questions as you are sending me, but what you can do is I'll try to send you answers of these questions written by me, and just to give you an insight of how you are going to write these answers. Secondly, most importantly, once you have solved an exam, you can go through the examiner solution as well. Now, one thing that majority of students are saying that, sir, reading examiner solution is a time-consuming exercise. I know this. It is although a time-consuming exercise, but what you can do is you can make sure that once you are reading the examiner solution and demotivating also, you can read the examiner solution. What you will be doing is that let's suppose once you are going to your bed for sleep, you can just go through the examiner solution, and obviously you will be having the points that you have written in your examination or during your practice. So this is how you're going to go through the last 1 week of revision. Now, one thing that I specifically keep on saying again and again, don't take these handouts of my regular classes. Now, don't use these handouts now of my regular classes and use all these short notes in order to revise your examination. You don't have enough time to keep on revising the technical part. Even the technical part is 80 to 90% completed from your side, and let's suppose if 10% is remaining, let it be. Because once you start solving the question, you are going to complete your technical part along with the practice session. So don't worry about the technical part. Just keep on practicing. Because once you practice at least 6 to 7 past papers in your exam given scenario, or maybe in a strict examination scenario, trust me over the fact that you will not be failing your examination. Right? And at the end of the day, make sure that you write a well-written answer rather than a quantitative answer. You write a qualitative answer rather than a quantitative. There are many students whom I have been identifying that students are writing quantitative answers. Now, quantitative answers will not gain you marks, rather, qualitative ones are going to give you marks. So, I hope so. It's very clear and evident to everyone. Let's just now start with today's class. Okay. This is just the half of the agenda of today's class. The other half I'll be dictating you, and I'll be starting you with the other half as well. Day 4, that is the exam technique, number of point and length of your answer. We are going to go through the SFA model. We'll be seeing the sort and toes model, financial projection, March, June 2019, financial ratios, September, December 2020, examiner report as well. So, and one more thing, at least read last 3 attempt examiner's report. See, don't give me an excuse that, okay, sir, we have 24 hours and how can we go through this and how can we go through that? You have ample amount of time, even if you have not even started studying till now and you start revising your examination question or you start practicing your question, you can still have chances of clearing this exam. But make sure that you write well rather than quantitative. So SBL WhatsApp group, you can join the WhatsApp group, although you all have joined it beforehand, but because this lecture will be uploaded on YouTube, so this is for those individuals. SBL tip is that technique number 2, number of point and length of your answer. There are 2 marks. I have been stating this again and again, and I'm letting you guys know once again for this. There are 2 marks, 2 types of marks given, technical and professional. Total marks is equal to technical plus professional. Generally 1 point will carry 2 marks, hence divide the total marks by 2 to calculate the number of points. So if the marks are 8, how many number of points will be? 4. If the marks are 8, then 4 points. 15, then 8 points. 8 point, not 7, right? Exception, if the question requires to identify weakness and give recommendation, or identify risk, give recommendation, then 4 marks of worth will be given. So this is how the columnar format will work. I have already told you yesterday. Maximum length of your point or paragraph, just make sure that your point paragraph is not too short and not too long. Don't make big paragraph, don't make small paragraph. Make sure that your point or paragraph are good. Minimum 3 lines, maximum 6 lines. So if you are typing, then minimum 1.5 line, maximum 3 lines. Professional skills, skepticism, analysis, some of the formats, report. Now, what is the SFA model? You guys are very well aware. It's an evaluation strategy to evaluate the proposed strategy. However, in exam, you should only use this when we plan to acquire another company, either in the same country or in the same or in another country. Example, if now how can you identify if I'm going to use the SFA model or not? Example, evaluate the proposal of acquiring ABC company situated in XYZ country. So if you are acquiring XYZ countries company of ABC, you can use SFA model. Evaluate the option of opening a new restaurant in another city. So if you are opening a new restaurant, then also you will be evaluating it through SFA model. And evaluate the proposal of adding a new product line to the existing product line. Can anyone please share the picture of what I've written right now? Okay, I'm sharing these notes on group as well. Just a minute. I have forwarded the handout as well as the picture. So can you elaborate adding new product line? Adding new product line means that, for example, yes, for product, we will be using NSOP model, but if we need to evaluate that specific product, then we'll be using the NSOP growth model. However, if we are evaluating the overall strategies, then what we are going to do, we are going to use the SFA model. One more thing. This SFA model is something which we'll be using, and many a times your examiner also wanted you to use this specific model. So we'll be having a question on this model in our today's class as well. Let's move forward. What do you mean by suitability? Now, what do we need to write in suitability? See, let's suppose if you are using the SFA model, so in suitability, you focus on external factors. Now, what are the external factors? Number one, firstly, you are going to focus on issues. What went wrong because of which you are taking such a decision? What is the matter? Why are you going for an acquisition strategy? What is the need of the acquisition strategy or opening a new product line? Number two, what factors are good in the targeted country? For example, if in my home country, the taxation laws are very strict, so in the targeted country, the taxation laws are very lenient. So this means that I will give an issue and I will also let you know that, okay, in the targeted company, this seems to be the solution of the issue. And last, what is good about the targeted company? So if we are targeting of going into another country and buying another company in that country, first we'll talk about our country, what went wrong, why we are moving towards the other country, and what competitive advantage we are going to gain if we go towards acquiring that specific company. Now, in feasibility, there are two factors. You focus on internal resources, human resources and expertise. Do we have acquisition experience in the past? So you'll write if the company is having an acquisition experience or not. Do we have experience of managing similar business? So do we have the experience of managing such businesses? And do we have the experience of working in an overseas country? So if we have the experience of working in an overseas country, if we have an experience of managing similar businesses, and if we have an experience of doing the acquisition strategies in the past, this will have us. This will give us a good momentum of starting or going for such a proposal. However, paragraph number 2, we'll talk about the financial resources. Do we have funds to acquire? And look at the gearing ratio. Now, acquisition financial part will be recorded in feasibility. Is it feasible to acquire or not? Is it feasible in terms of financials to acquire or not? So if we are writing about the acquisition company, we'll look at the financial ratios, gearing ratios, return on equity, ROEs, and other form of ratios in feasibility option. Is it clear? We'll write in feasibility option. However, if we are not doing this, if we are going for the, let's suppose the organic growth strategies, then we will be writing the acceptability option of going into organic, because once we start, we say, let's suppose I'm introducing another product in my already existing product line. So is it acceptable for that product to be introduced? Let's suppose if I'm a restaurant owner and if I have decided that I'll be adding another product line, and in order to add that specific product line, I'll have to have an investment of around 50 million. Is it acceptable to do this investment? How will we be checking? We'll be checking that, okay, if we are going to introduce this product and invest 50 million, what will be the revenue ratios? Will we be getting the desired NPV? Is it something where we can get our payback period within 1 or 2 years? So we'll be going with the financial side. Again, we'll be going with the financial side of organic growth in acceptability option. Is it acceptable for the shareholders? And we'll be going with the financial side of acquiring company in feasibility option. Is it clear? Now, in feasibility option, if there is something written about brand and technology, so you will be evaluating that. You'll be looking into that in the specific feasibility option if the acquiring company is in another country or in another company. Then again, acceptability. Focus on financial targets of the company. Will shareholder accept the proposed strategy? Will the shareholders accept the proposed strategy? Number one. If family owned or private company managed by the owners, then acceptable. If listed company, then shareholder will accept if the positive or reasonable NPV arise. This means that if we are talking about the organic growth, what we will look at is we'll look at the NPV, we'll look at the payback period, we will look at the, let's suppose if you are getting reasonable payback period, if you are getting reasonable NPVs, if you are getting reasonable return on investment, we'll be investing in such an organic growth. However, if I talk about the financial part of acquiring company, we'll be talking in feasibility, not in acceptability. Is it clear? Paragraph number 2 of acceptability will include if the target company is based on another country, then we will consider about the cultural differences as well. So in acceptability, paragraph number 1 will include the financial side of organic growth. However, if it is not organic growth and we are going for the acquired growth, then in acceptability, we'll be talking about the cultural issues. Paragraph number 3, financial projection and reviews. Again, analysis about financial projections, analysis about the reviews, financial projection about organic growth. Again, organic growth, we'll be talking in acceptability. Acquired growth, we'll be talking in feasibility. Conclusion required. Avoid conclusion if the question does not specifically ask for conclusion. This is it for SFA model. So if you are not being asked for SFA model to provide conclusion, you will not be providing any sort of conclusion. If you feel SFA is getting complicated in exam, normally students feel that SFA is getting complicated in exam. It is not compulsory to use SFA. But again, the difference between a good answer and a best answer will be the model. If you are applying a model, your answer might be the best one. But if you are not applying the model, your answer might be regarded as a good answer. You can also use general approach. Now, how to use general approach if the question is of an SFA model, but you are unaware, okay, I'm sitting in exam and I don't feel like that there is any SFA model being coming into my mind, or I don't know how to apply this model. So what you can do is you can make a paragraph that talks about the external factors of acquisition. Either you are going for organic growth or you are going for external acquisition. You can make a paragraph relating to the external factors, which include pros and cons. Number 1. You can make another paragraph which include the internal feasibilities. For example, do we have human resources? Do we have financial resources? Do we have intellectual resources? Do we have other sort of resources? You can talk about all internal resources. For example, do we have an experience of acquiring? Do we have experience of acquiring such companies historically, so on and so forth? So these are all the internal factors that you'll be talking about. And last but not the least, you will be talking about the financial analysis of the giving projections. Now, SWOT analysis. Is it clear? Is SFA clear to everyone? See, don't make a blunder in your paper. If you are 100% sure that you will apply this SFA model religiously and relevantly, then you can apply. Obviously, this will make your answer to be the best one. But if you're not sure, just a minute. Yeah, Is it clear to everyone? Okay. Now, if you know how to use the SFA model, then you will be applying SFA. Otherwise, you can go for a generic approach, and that is going to gain you good marks. Again, you will be able to pass your exam. So, now one thing, I have shown you the comment of examiners in my yesterday's class that SORT is not a model but tools. You can identify strengths, you can identify weaknesses, you can identify opportunities, you can identify threats. But this is not a specific model. The model that relates is the TOES model. So again, strength and weakness are internal factors, opportunities and threats are external factors. Example, why do we use SORT model? SORT analysis. We use SORT analysis in order to reliably calculate the TOES model. Now, TOES model means TOWS. TOWS. Use your strength to materialize opportunities. Over here, it says use your strength to materialize opportunity. Use your strength to eliminate threats. Eliminate your weaknesses to create opportunities. And eliminate your weaknesses to reduce threats. So you can use these words. This can be a good model, but again, my analysis is that SBL examiner won't be using such an easy model for their question. But yes, it can be the case that they might use it for some time, or maybe a unique case can arise that where TOES model may be identified. Right? SO. SO means use your strength to avail opportunity. WO means remove your weaknesses to avail opportunity. Use your strength to avoid counter threats and remove your weaknesses to avoid threats. How will you know if TOES model is required? Very, very, very important. Number one, a SWOT analysis will be given. And they will say, using an appropriate model, give an analysis to the company or give or identify how can a company grow. If you are being given in an exhibit with a SWOT model, this means that the examiner would want you to use the TOES model. Yeah, you can make this. You can make this. So you can make this. ऐसे नहीं होगा होगा तो पूरा ही है अलग से नहीं. You will be required to do SWOT analysis first, or part A of the examination question will say that use SWOT analysis, and part B is going to relate that using an appropriate model, identify how can a company reduce its increase its opportunity and reduce its threats. So this means that he would want you to apply the TOES model. And you just go through the list of strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat and link them. This is how you are going to identify if the examiner would want you to make the TOES model or not. Is it clear to everyone? Financial projections. If financial projection is given in regarding a proposed investment, then you may check or mention the following things. 5 things. Now, this is important. And again, majority of students, when they are going for their examination, they keep on asking me this question. So, what financial formulas are we going to use in SBL examination? So, these are the financial formulas that you can use. Projection should be based. Now, there might be a case where the examiner is asking to identify weakness in the above given scenario, which has been made by an inexperienced accountant. Now, there might be a case that, for example, in an exhibit, they have given you cash flows and it has not been discounted. So you will have to identify this as a weakness. Always remember, all financial projections should be discounted in order to take investment decisions, either in your life or in your exam. This is the rule of thumb, that each and every financial projection should be discounted on a relevant rate. That is an effective rate as well. So it says projection should be based on discounted cash flows using sensible discount rate. Number two, they are giving you simple payback. You should go for cumulative paybacks. Calculate simple payback period using pre-discounted cash flows. Number three, review assumptions for any apparently stupidity. If there is any stupidity being done by the inexperienced accountant in regard with the assumptions, you'll have to take those assumptions back and you'll have to identify that these are the wrong assumptions taken by the accountant, and mention in your answer the adequacy of the assumptions. Those cannot be applied without sort. Yes. How to identify an appropriate discount? No, you will not be asked to identify appropriate discount rate. You will only be saying that the discount rate should be inflation adjusted. We can do this question. Okay. Where do we have to check these things? No, you need to check these things in the exhibits. There might be some exhibits and you might be asked that, okay, what financial stuff is missing in these exhibits. So you can identify that these are the financial areas that should have been taken very reliably. And mention in your answer the adequacy of the assumptions need to be reevaluated. Mention in your answer that tax implication need to be considered, and mention in your answer sensitivity analysis should be done. You are not required to do the sensitivity analysis. You are not required to calculate any other stuff. You're not required to identify the appropriate discount rate. All you need to do is, if the exhibit includes without tax implication, you will give a suggestion that the exhibit or the individual should have a tax implication. If the exhibit include a discounted cash flows or maybe the cash flows and they are not discounted, so you will give them a suggestion that it should have been discounted at a proper rate, right? So this is how you're going to answer the question. If there is inflation, and then we have to convert the discount rate into real terms rather than nominal terms. I guess there have been no such case. But yes, if this is something which is obvious, that the inflation rate should be the discount rate should be inflation adjusted. Report format. Now, report format will include addressee to, from, subject. Or you all have gone through the report format. I have given you this format once again. Conclusion or recommendation not required unless asked in the question, but I would rather suggest that with heading is not required. Without heading, you'll have to give a concluding remark in your answer. Skepticism. Well, let's go to, I guess you're talking about this question. Smart way. Question number 4B, right? Okay, so CB platform, we will be practicing this question right now. Um, just a second. So these are the format. You all have gone through the formats before. I have given you the revision of these formats, weakness, recommendation, analysis. These are the skills that are being tested. Now, let's have a break of namaz for next 10 minutes. And we will be starting with this specific question. I'll be reading this question in front of you. We are going to discuss this question and then we will be moving forward. Just for 10 minutes, I'm giving you a namaz break and then we are starting with this specific question. Last, after doing this question, we'll be revising the heat map and we'll be going through some of the data analytics part and cultural part. Then we'll be moving towards Bellridge model and we'll be ending up the session today at the the last two articles that are being provided by ACCA. There. Let's have a break for 2 minutes. Oh, sorry, let's have a break for 10 minutes. Okay, now I'm showing you the question. I'm reading the question in front of you. Let's start with this question and let's discuss. Okay, I'll talk about the PID format as well. Don't worry. I guess he might have to go with another session tomorrow. 3 बजे रखेंगे, 3 बजे, इससे पहले क्या रखें? Let's start now. We are going to go through the smartware question number 4B, right? This is question number 4B. 4B लिखा है ना? Let's just quickly go through the smartware question. Question number 4B says, recently commissioned market research has concluded that smartware appears to have no clear understanding of the profile of its customers mix, and as a result operates quite unsophisticated and ineffective marketing campaign. Recent financial results indicate that smartware is finding it hard to both retain and get repeat business from existing customers. And the company is clearly losing market share to both established competitors and newer e-retailers. The sales and marketing director has been considering the development and implementation of sophisticated customers database management system, incorporating a customer's loyalty scheme to replace the existing very basic database, customer database. The marketing department has undertaken a financial appraisal of this proposal to supplement the marketing research finding, and this indicates that it is financially viable in net present value term. You have advised the sales and marketing director that the board to agree the proposal, a clearly stated business case and more reliable evaluation of the financial viability of the project will be needed. She agreed. Now what it seems that you are about to apply SFA model, right? She agreed and asked you to help her in this regard. She is agreeing and asking you to help us in this regard. So we'll be doing part B of this question. Write a report on behalf of the sales and marketing director to present to the board which achieves both of the following. I'm going through part B again. Evaluate the marketing department NPVs analysis. So you have already been given with an NPVs analysis, but you need to evaluate it. Support the CDMS investment. questioning any underlying assumptions made. Professional skill marks are available for displaying skepticism about the cash flow forecast used to support the proposal. Now let's look at the relevant exhibit. Which exhibit does it includes to? Exhibit 4. Okay, so customer database management system, investment in CDMS technology, then we have operating cost, then we have additional contribution, interest payable loan, net cash flows, corporation tax, pre-tax cash flows, discount factor, net present value, and net present value at the end of the day is positive 7. Yes, interest rate should be included in the discount rate. Again, note, total investment comprises of initial capital outlay, sales tax on the purchase price recoverable through NORIA tax authorities, installation and system testing cost, staff training on the CDMS, 5 years maintenance and support contract with the supplier. It is estimated that CDMS will directly generate additional contribution from the new and retained customers. A new 38 million loan will be taken out of the finance to finance the project with interest payable at 8% per annum. The smartware weighted average cost of capital is 10% is used in the project discount factor. Now, this is the entire information that we have been given. But what you can do is you can go through the first part of this question of introduction as well. Now, what do you think we should write in this specific answer? Hmm. 8%. Okay. Yes. Yes. Or any other? Good. Okay. So I'm giving you some starter point to write the NPV question. You can write them. Actually, growth rate is declining, but we need to challenge the NPV in terms of calculation, not in terms of growth and other factors. So we need to calculate this in terms of how the NPV has been calculated rather than. Now, this is one of those questions which I guess is the most misunderstood question by the candidates. Why am I saying this is, read the requirement once again. Read the requirement once again. Evaluate the marketing department's NPV analysis that supports CDMS investments. So you need to evaluate the figures that are being given in the NPV. Figures that are being given in the NPV. Questioning any underlying assumptions made. What assumptions are being made when you are taking this, let's suppose this investment appraisal. Now let's look at this once again. Yes, you can have a questioning mind on that. Now let me show you. Look at this capital investment. Look at this capital outlay. Investment in technology. So if you want, what is the basis? The first question that can come into your mind is, what is the basis of initial capital outlay? Is it based on the tender that you have won or a quotation? What is the basis of this capital outlay of around 38 million? You can write these points right now because you'll be doing this question after I have discussed this with you. So the first question of analysis is, what is the basis of this initial capital outlay? Why are we doing this initial capital outlay, and what is the basis of this initial capital outlay? Means, why aren't we given with the breakup value of this 38 million? Is it based on tender or on quotation? Number 2. Sales tax recovery. Now look at this sales tax portion over here. It says sales tax on the purchase price is recoverable through the Noria tax authorities. So over here, what we are doing is we are including the tax as an expense. What about the recovery? Do you get my point? We are using this tax as an expense. We are showing that, okay, there's a corporate tax of let's about 30%, or maybe the sales tax implication have not been taken into account. So you can use the questioning mind by saying sales tax recovery is not included in the cash inflows in later years. So sales tax recovery is not included in the cash flow. Yes, discount factor should reflect inflation. The third point that comes into my mind is नहीं एक मिनट Just a minute. Okay, so operating cost is same throughout the year. Operating cost is same throughout the year. How can the operating cost be same throughout the year? There may be some differences in the operation cost as well. So this can be a third point, or this can be a third questioning factor. Obviously, operating cost, if it is same, this means that you can take both these points together. There is no basis given for the additional contribution of 22 million, which is same throughout the year. Fourth question can be, there is no basis of this 22 million being given, which is same throughout the year. Then you can write see again the question says यहाँ tax rate can also change because of maybe some political instability is being taken into account or not. Another thing that this additional contribution of 22 million remains the same. This means that you are assuming that you are getting the same amount of sales in every year. So what about the product life cycle? You are assuming to have the same amount of sales every year. So what about the product life cycle? Are you taking into consideration the product life cycle of this as well? Then it says the operating cost is fixed throughout the year. Then you can also raise the question, why is it the case that the operating cost is fixed throughout the year? Why isn't it changing? One more thing. Have they given you the inflation rate? Okay, so we need to go through exhibit number 2 as well in order to get a better understanding of this question. Yes, inflation rate is rising. Inflation rate is rising. However, the operating cost in this NPV analysis is same. So despite the fact that the inflation rate is rising throughout, we have taken the operating cost to be same for the next 5 years. So this can also be the question. Yes. One more thing. Why is it the case that the interest cost is same throughout the 5 years? Interest cost is never the same. It depends upon the Gibor rate. Again, in Pakistan, it depends upon the Gibor rate. But in, let's suppose, in other countries, it will be dependent upon their own specific rate. So there are 5 to 10 questions that I have identified right now. Is it clear to everyone? Now, my viewpoint is, because interest expense is already incorporated in the discount factor. Now, some of the contributions from our online students, sir, can we say that the sales tax can be changed? As a, yes, yes, political presumptions can be taken into account. For example, currently sales tax of Pakistan and other form of taxation in Pakistan have historically been changed, and it changes on every single occasion. So that is the biggest flaw that businessmen right now are having, or that is the biggest point of concern that the businessmen are right now worried about. It is actually telling us about the input VAT recoverable unqualified purchases. Interest is an irrelevant cash flows. Yes, interest is how irrelevant cash flows. Kindly explain. Weighted average cost of capital, but that you can you can use the interest rate that is being given, because interest expense is already incorporated in the discount factor. Interest, sir, already discount में incorporate होता. Yes, but again, I know that it has been incorporated in discount factor, but there are 4 to 5 questions that I have shown you right now. Now, what you need to do, you need to read exhibit number 4. I hope so you all have this question in front of you. Do you have the handout of this question? When did I give this handout? निकालना ये खुला हुआ है, देखना है तो हैंडआउट लेके जाओ, देखो अगर खुला हुआ तो इसकी 10 कॉपीज करवाओ. You will be reading exhibit number 4, exhibit number 6, and start attempting question number 4B. Start attempting question number 4B, which says to evaluate the marketing department NPV, and you will be given with around, you have 10 and plus 2 means 12 marks. This means 2 divided by 12 means 6 points. So you need to give at least 6 evaluating remark on NPVs. Make sure it says evaluate the marketing department NPV analysis that support the CDMS investment, questioning any underlying assumption. So you'll have to make 6 different paragraphs, and you'll be writing a report. So please start now. Check it. Yes, so then Castile, you can send me. You can send me the answer, please. And all others are attempting. He'll be passing. Okay, I guess majority of you, have already done this question. Guys, please. I guess majority of you have already done this question. So let's just move towards the risk heat map, another part of this workshop, so that we can quickly come to an end as well. Another thing that I would want to show you right now before going on to the risk heat map is let me show you. Are you guys attempting it, or majority of you have done this? I guess majority of you have done this. I have shared the answer on the group as well. Shaikh, I've shared the answer on the group. You can see my answer. It's already being shared. Okay. Now I forgot to make the printout of this handout, but I assume that if you want to copy, I'll be sharing the PDF file of this, so you can easily go through this handout as well. Let me show you. Just a minute, please. Okay. Yes, I'm coming to the culture and data analytics topic as well. Shaud, don't worry. Just give me some time. We'll conclude everything. Okay, so let's have some. Just leave the. Okay, so these are some of the most important. This is one of the important handouts. I'll share this with you as well. You can watch the YouTube channel in order to get some of the most insight regarding this thing. Financial ratios, again, something which is important. And I guess if you are going through these financial ratios, you will have a better objective. Demand law. घर जाके कर. You can watch it on YouTube channel. My YouTube channel name is Sheikh Bilal Haque, so you can find it out over there. Financial ratios, we have got P&L and balance sheet. Now, the most appropriate ratio that you need to revise is P&L ratio, balance sheet ratio. In P&L ratio, we have got sales trend, we have got gross profit margin, net profit margin, ROAS, that is the return on capital employed. In balance sheet, we have got current asset ratio, quick ratio, and interest cover ratio. Then we have the efficiency ratio, which may include the revenue per employee. Then some of the most important F9 related stuff will be the net present value, accounting rate of return, internal rate of return, and discounted cash flows. I hope so that you are very well aware of this. Now, most important part of this handout. I'll share this handout with you on your groups so that you can have an insight. So please identify any SBL past paper in which PID business case has been tested. There is only one past paper in which it has not been tested in full, but they have asked you to revise the PID. I'll go through that past paper as well. we'll talk about this. Evaluate the proposed strategies related to the investment using the given ratio. Now, if it says to evaluate the proposed strategy using given in the investment point of view and using a appropriate ratio alert, no need to calculate or show any sort of calculation on the spreadsheet. Use the given data onto the word response section. You can use the given data and you can just give us the calculated figure that okay, rows include 29% or return on equity is 30%. Question number 2, using an appropriate investment appraisal technique, evaluate with the help of the financial data given, a proposed strategy shall be accepted or not. Use financial data and calculate NPV, IRR, ARR, discounted cash flows in the spreadsheet to give your answer. Now, if they have given you appropriate data and they say that use appropriate financial use the financial data and calculate the appropriateness of this proposal, then you might be calculating NPV. Most specifically, they may ask you to calculate NPV or they may ask you to calculate IRR. So my request is to kindly go through the formula of NPV and internal rate of return, and also the discounted cash flow. These three things can be tested in your exam, so I would request you to kindly go through them. Define ratios in detail. Now, normally, whenever we are defining ratios, make sure that you're defining it from denominator to numerator. 20 to 30% is of your paper is based on common sense. That is not from me, from your examiner's side. Formats include report, briefing paper, notes, memo, presentation slide, press release, email, letters, and PIDs. When you are attempting SBL, make sure that you take yourself either in the form of board of directors. Maybe you might be asked to take the board of directors side or to take the stakeholders side, other part of the stakeholder side. Practice exam in CB format only. You have got some past exam papers. Now these are available on your exam library. That is your practice platform. You have 3 specimen papers. You can solve them on Microsoft Word. Why students fail in SBL as per March 2020 and June 2021 examiners comment says, overall the standard of answer in June 2021 was one of the most poorest in SBL so far. 21. June 2021 was the poorest in SBL so far. What were the weaknesses and what are the recommendations? Answers are not linked with the exhibits. Merely copy pasting material from the exhibits. Poor technical knowledge. Exclusively short responses. Short responses mean one-liner response. Not reading the requirement carefully. The requirement says and you are just answering the first part of your question and expecting you are going to gain 50% marks in something which you have already attempted 50%. Insufficient number of points. Make sure that you follow the strategy of number of points that I've already told you. Weak in typing, one of the biggest issues, but I don't think so. That is. These are some of the most important factors. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I was not sharing that handout. Extremely sorry. Insufficient number of points and weak in typing. No practice on CBE platform. These are the factors that March, June 2021 students and examiners have identified. Recommendation, preparation. Prepare on CBE format. Do SBH mock exam and get your answer. Let's move forward. Review by stay away from books, technical articles, and vision, but you will have to go through those 2 technical articles. You won't be staying away from these 2 technical articles that we are going to go through after some time today. 5 days workshop plan. Now, this is something. Okay. List of important topics. Right? I'm going to share this handout. There are certain models, risk heat map. We are doing this after 5 minutes. Tararara model, SFA model, toes and sort, pestle, quarter 5 forces, BCG, corporate parenting, Harmon process strategy, ENSOF growth model, cultural web, Menlo, context of change. I'll change it. Cultural web, we are coming after the Karar. है नहीं बट मैं करा Now these are some of the most important topics. Internal audit and control, risk management, big data, new topics, funding strategy. Funding strategy means obviously the proposals of accepting and rejecting a specific thing. But cash cow, Boston Consultative Group, budgets, value chain, weakness recommendation, integrated reporting, e-businesses. Then we have the topic of social and environmental factors. I'm coming to the cultural topic as well. Just a minute, Komal. NED, board committees, unitary and two-tier board, budgets, management information systems, and project management. These are the topics. Syllabus changes, you already know. I'm not going through them. Topic in details. Yeah, articles, blockchain, cryptocurrencies and IPO and cybersecurity. These are old articles. Now we are going to go through. I'll be adding 2 more articles, so don't worry. There are 2 more articles. Risk register. Now this is the format. If you are, although there have been no such question on risk register previously, but although there have been no such question on risk register specifically, but this is the format. If the question is going to ask you to prepare a risk register, this can be the format. Although, for example, you will be identifying the risk, its impact, and its likelihood. Now, this likelihood will be given in the exhibits. Priority of the risk. Let's suppose if they ask you to prioritize the risk due to limited time constraint. Mitigation. This, you know, obviously how to mitigate. Owners, who is going to help us in mitigating the risk. And last but not the least, when will be the next review on? So they might ask you that, or maybe they might have given you the exhibit which is looking like this, so you can, you know, have an insight that okay, we have already gone through the format of risk register. Now this is a new topic that has been included in your SBL exam relating to risk. We have not covered this topic previously, and we are covering it right now. It's a very small, it's a very basic topic, but a very self-explanatory topic. So I would want 100% attention of yours. Now there are 4 lines of defense. Basically, this topic relates to risk management. May I share this handout with you? Okay, I've shared this handout with you all. Kindly go through this. Okay, 4 line of defense. Hamza, 4 line of defense. Now, what do you understand by the word 4 line of defense? This is 4 line of defense means risk management. How to manage the risk? See, there are 4 different lines that relates to 4 different stakeholders in which risk management strategy will be taken. Number 1. Part 1 relates to risk management, which is related to the employees of the company. If you want, you can write this as well, because I will not be able to provide you a handout of this. I have already shared it in the PDF form, but it's better that you write it. First line of defense related to employees. What risk management strategies are present for employees? Number 1, proper policies and procedures with SOPs to the employees of the company in order to eliminate or reduce the risk. Training to the employee, which will include induction training and trainings related to the upgradation of their skill set. This will also eliminate the risk of obsolescence within the employees. Regular performance evaluation. You need to evaluate the performance of the employee so that the underperforming employees are being given chance to train themselves or to polish their skills. This will eliminate the risk of hiring someone who has been a nuisance for the company. And reward of punishment, or reward or punishment. Reward or punishment means that, let's suppose if an employee is doing something which is a good governance strategy, or maybe something which is helping the company to get more momentum or more amount of revenue within the company, or reducing the risk to an acceptable level. This will be an autonomous situation where we should give some reward to the company's employee, and if they are doing something wrong for the company, we should punish them at the end. So this is the first line of defense for the employees. Number two, second line of defense is for the managers of the company. This is a risk management strategy. Supervise the employees, management of the company. How can manager of the company contribute towards the risk reduction strategies? Supervision of the employee, review and monitor their performance. Risk and compliance department, you can have a risk and compliance department, but again, this compliance department is again into larger companies, not in smaller companies. Review and monitor their performances and supervise their employees. Then we have the third line of defense, which includes the internal audit. Objective and review and assessment of the risk management activities. You can have an insight on the risk management activities. If there is an internal audit department, it will contribute to the reduction of the risk. Having good knowledge of the organization's internal control systems, but may not be 100% independent. So we have studied about 3 different people who can contribute to the reduction of the risk. Number 1 is the employee, number 2 is the manager, and number 3 is the internal audit department. Fourth one is the external audit. You know how they are going to eliminate the risk to an acceptable level. External auditors or bodies more independent than internal auditors. Fresh pair of eyes looking into the risk. So they'll be giving a more better insight, have external wider experiences and less knowledge about the organization. But this is let's suppose a control hindrance, that they will not be able to have more knowledge as compared to the internal auditor. So these are the 4 line of defense. If these 4 individuals are working objectively, the risk can be eliminated. It's a new topic of risk, but a very small one, and it does not have much chances of being tested. But yes, this can be made part of a risk register maybe, or a risk heat map maybe, as a second question or a part B. Is it clear to everyone? Now let's just quickly move towards the next part, that is risk heat map. For this, you'll have to write this heat map, and you'll have to make this in your registers piece. इससे बहुत कुछ पास हुआ। ये इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक्स भी हैं, और एक और लिस्ट ऑफ टॉपिक्स मैं देने वाला हूँ, अभी दिखाने वाला हूँ आपको, जिसमें हम काम करेंगे कि आप 10 सवाल में पूरा एसबीएल रिवाइज कैसे करें। 10 पार्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन उठा लूं, तो मैं हर फॉर्मेट रिवाइज कर लूं, हर स्किल रिवाइज कर लूंगा, और हर टॉपिक रिवाइज। ये मैं भी रिस्क हीट मैप के बाद वो भेज तो दिया सफर में, वही तो है, वो मतलब उसी तरह की सब दे सेम है। असल में जो मेरे पास है ना, वो इतनी क्लियर नहीं है। ओके, लेट्स स्टार्ट नाउ, लेट्स गो विद द रिस्क हीट मैप। I guess this is visible to every one of you. Most probably today will be the last class. Or if we are not able to complete it, I might call you tomorrow, or maybe we may go for online class, whatever suits you. No, I'm showing you the camera. Can you see my camera, please? Am I visible to everyone? No. Okay, just a second, please. Okay, just a minute. Just a minute, please. Am I visible now? Guys, am I visible? Okay. वो डिपेंड करता है. Am I visible now? Is my board visible now? Okay. So this is a risk heat map that I have made. Kindly make this in your registers, please. It's a 3x3 risk heat map. In reality, you may also find a 4x. Risk heat map, and now we need to decide how do we assess. Is it clear now? Am I audible now? Am I audible to everyone? Yes, online students, am I audible? Okay. This is a 3x3 risk heat map. In reality, there may be a 5x5 risk heat map as well. I'll share the picture as well, don't worry. There may be a 5x5 risk heat map as well. Now, can anyone share the picture of this board, please, in the group? Now, 3x3, I'm sharing the picture. Maybe there might be some distortion relating to the video. Just a minute, please. Yes. Okay, we have shared the picture. You can see the pictures. Okay, this is the 3x3 risk heat map. Now, in this risk heat map, there are two different things that we are going to go through. The first thing is the impact, and the second thing is probability. Let us discuss about any sort of risk. Let's suppose I'm introducing a new product in my already available product range. Let's suppose Adidas is now introducing comfy shoes, and they want to introduce this product line as a new product, and they have invested huge amount of capital in in the research part. They have done research and development, and they have invested huge amount of capital. Now, what could be the risk? Let's suppose their capital investment in making the comfortable shoe is around $28 million. It's a huge investment. Now, what could be the risk? Yes, please. Let's have some probabilities. Let's have some probabilities. Let's suppose the first risk can be that this product goes into complete failure. This product goes into complete failure. Second risk can be that although we had a boost in sales initially, we have a boost in sales initially, but early maturity phase. Right? Third risk is that we might face severe competition, and we may not be able to catch good market share. I hope so I'm audible to every one of you or in my online class. Okay, so let's plot this out. Now, it's a subjective assessment. Maybe some of you might think that the first one will have a high probability and a low impact. The others might think that the first one will have a low probability and high impact. What do you think? If I am Adidas and I'm introducing, or maybe I am Nike and I'm introducing a comfortable shoe range, what do you think about the probability of me having a complete failure? It should be low, medium, or high? Low. Okay. But what if? But what about the impact? If we go into a complete failure, no, it's not high. Let me tell you one more thing. The research and development cost is around $28 million. However, the total equity of Adidas is around $3,800 million. So what do you think? The impact should be low, medium, or high? Maybe medium. Maybe medium. Let's suppose if I take it as a medium consideration. So now this will be dependent upon you, right? I would rather suggest that if there is some, let's suppose, financial data being given to you, and it shows the probability of failure less than 10%, take this as a probability of failure less than 10%, take this as a low probability. But if it says that the probability of failure is around 10 to 20% or 25%, take this as a medium probability, and anything that goes above 25% is a high probability of failure. Similarly, if out of total equity, 15% of equity is compromised, take it as a low impact. 30% of the equity is compromised, take it as medium impact. And if more than 30% of the equity is compromised, take it as compromise means it's on stake, take it as a high impact. Is it clear to everyone? Now, this is a subjective assessment. Complete failure, you said that probability is low, being a branded company, being Adidas, being Nike, it's a It's something which is not doable. But however, what about the impact? I guess it will have a medium impact. So you will regard this as 2 in terms of risk, implication, and mitigation factors. What about the other thing? Boost in sales initially, but early maturity phase. Yes. What is the probability that Adidas is going to achieve a boost in sales initially? That is something which is obvious. Yes. But what about the early maturity? Adidas have no previous historic experience of introducing comfortable shoes. They are someone who have introduced the sport or sporty shoes, not the comfortable one. So yes, I would say that this will have a probability of maybe of medium or high side. But will the impact be low or high?
Medium.
I guess the impact will be low because if boost in sales will create a tremendous amount of profit, you will be in a recoverable position. So the impact will be low, but the so again you will regard this as number 2 in the risk heat map, and each number over here shows the intensity of risk and how early you should respond to that risk.
Excuse me.
अगर दिया हुआ तो each number, see, this means minimal efforts, this means highest efforts, this means medium efforts, this means less than the highest but more than medium, this means less than medium but more than lowest. So every number over here means something. Now how have I calculated this number? 1 multiplied by 1 from x-axis and y-axis. 2 multiplied by 1, 3 multiplied by 1, then 1 multiplied by 2, 2 multiplied by 2, and 3 multiplied. So x-axis multiplied by y-axis. X-axis multiplied by y-axis. This is how you are going to calculate the numbers. 1 means minimal efforts. 9 means quick response. Your company can go into a defaulting situation. 6 means medium response. 6 means more than medium but less than quick. 4 means medium. 3 means more than. Why the digit 5 is not appearing? Because it's a multiplier impact. See, digit does not mean anything special, and it does not mean that you need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Digit means that this is something which you can, gauge your risk, and you can have some control measures on these risks. Yes, please.
So ये जो table है basically ये level of risk बता रहा है. कितना level है?
Level of risk and its probability of occurrence.
इसलिए system में भी कम की आ रही होगी.
Yes, even the Tara model seems to be the same one. But in Tara model, there are strategies to evaluate risk. This is just a risk identification model. Tara is the risk evaluation and strategic model. Sir, for 9, should we accept the risk like Tara? Sir, should we for 9 should we avoid the? Yes. No, Shahid. For 9, actually, you should avoid such risk. If you are going according to Tara model, we will be avoiding this. But one more thing. This should be your last model when applying in the question. If the question specifically says that you need to apply risk heat map, only then you will be applying this heat map, because this is a very, very, very subjective question. It will have various number of answers. Some may classify this as high probability, the other may classify this as medium probability. And unless you are justifying an answer, you are going to gain marks. But your justification should be very prominent. For example, if it says that we have invested 90% of the equity in introducing a new line of product, which have historically been introduced by the competitor, but they pathetically failed, and you say that the impact will be low, then you cannot justify your impact, because you have invested 90%, company have invested 90% of their equity. into something which have a historic failure impact. So this will not have a low probability. But sir, but risk heat map के accordingly हम इसका use क्या करेंगे for risk management? Basically, this is identification of risk. Once you identify the risk to be high, then you can use the Tara model, either to accept it, reject it, transfer it, or reduce it. It is just the identification model. This model is not important. Yes, this model is not as important, but maybe they might give you this model in exhibit. So you should know how to read this model. They might give you this model in exhibit and it will let you know that, okay, we have identified 4 risks. Now using Tara model or using an appropriate model, identify what should be the strategy. So you can identify that, okay, 9 means highest, 1 means lowest, 4 means medium, and so on and so forth. Do you get this? Is it easy or not? Okay, this model does not seems to be so this model is just an identification and assessment of risk. Yes, it's not an important model. That is the reason why I'm doing this right at the end. Now I guess we should go through the articles that are available by ACCA quickly. Culture we'll do at the end or maybe tomorrow in our online class. I'm thinking to keep a class tomorrow as well, but we'll keep it as an online class from 3 onwards, maybe till 5 o'clock, or I'll just be needing 1 hour or 1.5 hours to conclude the entire workshop thing. For today, I would want to go through the article so that you can have an insight and you can start reading your article on your own as well. So let me show you the articles first. Or you need to I'm showing you the new articles. Okay, if you are going to write ACCA's a new technical article, you are going to get all these articles in front. Yes, Shaud, I will inform you about the other articles and I'll share a PDF of these articles as well so that you can go through them. But these two are very important. See, now over here it says that this, see over here, whenever you are going to write, whenever you want to see any articles in ACCA examination, you can see that you'll be writing new articles over here, all new articles, but it says that this one is relevant to the PM paper. So we'll not be going through this relevant to PM paper, relevant to PM paper. So all those who are giving the performance management paper, be very aware that there are more than 6 articles being issued by ACCA. Then we have a taxation article as well. Then we have these 2 articles relating to SBL and the most important one. Now, principle and application of e-marking. Now, this is something which is not an article, but this is something which is a general guidelines of how e-marking will be done. Now, e-marking means that your paper is being submitted through computer-based exam, and what will be the mark? E-marking. These are the principles of e-marking as well. E-marketing, sorry, e-marketing. Yes. So we'll go through these. we'll go to these articles as well. So let's just first start with the first one because we don't have much amount of time. So we'll be going through these articles quickly. Let's see. अभी गए. मतलब okay, so these are the articles that we are going to go through. First, let's go to the Belridge model article. Is my screen visible to everyone? All online students? Yes, please. Is my screen visible? See? Okay. So let's just first go through this article. We might go through the other articles maybe tomorrow, but we will go through them. And what I'll do is I'll also make a video on these articles and I'll try to upload it on my YouTube channel. How might it be examined? I hope so you all have subscribed my YouTube channel as well as hit the bell icon. Have you all done this?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You'll have to do this, otherwise the loss is yours, not mine. Let's move forward. How might it be examined in the strategic business leader? Sir, marketing. Yes, I'm marketing. It's not basically marketing, it's something which is a necessity for you right now. So you'll have to do this. Okay. How might it be examined? The Belridge model, one of the favorite model of Uzefa. So we are discussing this right now, Uzefa. I hope so you are now more than satisfied that we are going through this model. Introduction. In the strategic business leader syllabus, the Belridge model for world-class organization is used as a tool with which business leaders can analyze organization from holistic perspective. The model involves looking at several critical aspects of managing the organization's performance to create and add value to organization and increase competitiveness. What do you mean by holistic viewpoint? Holistic viewpoint means 360-degree viewpoint. Holistic viewpoint means 360-degree viewpoint. Now, this model is basically presenting the holistic viewpoint or wider perspective of the organization, and it is not just related to the specific shareholders point of view or the environmental point of view, but a point of view in which we all are going for a win-win situation. It says why the Belridge model is so relevant to SBL as a syllabus. SBL is an exam about strategic business leader, and the Belridge model is an ideal way to present and think about the performance management, organizational competitiveness, and creation of value. The SBL syllabus contains several main sections and outcomes within the syllabus which relate closely to the factors for success and excellence, including within the Belridge model. So it says that it's an important model. I would rather suggest you to go through this. The Belridge model is shown below. Now they are saying that, okay, we are going through the Belridge model and let's see, is it visible to everyone? Okay. इसका टाइम कौन लेगा यार? नहीं हो रहा PDF. Okay, so I'll read it out for you. I hope so you are going to understand. उसमें है, if you want, you can open it on in your mobile phone or your laptops. Just write SBL technical articles and you are going to get. In fact, rather than going through your mobile phones, you can, have a picture of this maybe, and you can zoom it out. Okay. Now, the Bellage model is shown below in figure number 1. Let's just quickly go through this model. Bellage model of performance excellence, Malcolm Bellage, by courtesy of slides. Bellage model for performance excellence. Now, what does this model say? Organizational profile, environment, relationship, and strategic situations. Number 1, you need to connect the organization through these 6 different areas. Number 1 is the organizational leadership. Number 2 is the strategic planning. Number 3 is the customer focus or customer value for money. Number 4 is the measurement, analysis, and knowledge management. Basically, Bellage model is identifying that this is the basis on which the entire syllabus of basically it's not zooming in Safa. I don't know why, but it is not. Huh? It's not zooming in. I don't know why, but I'm trying, but it's not being zoomed. You can take the picture maybe. So the 4th one says measurement, analysis, and knowledge management. 5th one is the 5th part of Bellage model is workforce focus. This means that thinking about the workforces. 6th one is the operational focus, opportunity focuses, operational focuses, and 7th one is the results. So it means that if you try to combine all these stakeholders, basically Bellage model is all about how you are combining with the stakeholders and generating the major amount of success for the overall community. So it will include leadership, it will include strategic planning, it will include the customer focus, the measurement analysis and knowledge management, the workforce focuses, operational focuses, and at the end, the benefit that an organization is going to achieve. Oh, see, I told you, you can see the Bellage model. Over here, the Bellage model is being shown to you. Is it clear?
Yes.
Just have a look at this. Okay. So I'm going to share all these articles, which I think is the most important one. Don't worry. As you can see in figure number 1 above, there are essentially 7 critical aspects with which may be considered in managing the performance excellence and competitiveness. So in order to manage the performance excellence, in order to achieve success, you need to go through these 7 different parts. Managing the performance excellence and competitiveness. At the top of the model, in the context in which the organization finds itself, organizational profile, which may be determined by applying various strategic models such as SWOT, PESTLE, which involves the understanding of the organization itself, its environment, and current strategic position. See, the Bellage model suggests that strategic business leaders should focus on the above aspects in combination to ensure that effective management of the business performance to create excellence and improve the competitiveness across the organization. See, remember one thing. Actually, Bellage model is about 7 different things. Bellage model is a box which says that in order to evaluate the strategy, you need to use SWOT. In order to evaluate the proposals relating to acquisition, you'll be using SFA in order to evaluate. So Bellridge model is a combined effect of all other models. Bellridge itself is not a model. Bellridge himself is a person who said that in order to be a successful businessman, utilize all these models effectively, you will be a successful business. Do you get this? So Bellridge itself is not a model, but it says that you need to utilize these 7 different vectors, 7 different aspects of the stakeholders theory should be utilized in order to reach to better conclusion in terms with businesses. Again, how to manage performance excellence using the Bellridge model. Looking at the model in figure number 1 above more closely, as far as its main elements are concerned, the model starts with leadership because effective leadership is the cornerstone of excellence, performance, and competitiveness. So it starts with leadership. A good leader will lead to a good, successful business. So you have gone through the leadership strategies. In my regular course, you all must have gone through the leadership strategies, number 1. Although not specifically mentioned in the model, strong and effective leadership should be supported by robust governance. So have you all gone through the governance topic? Good. Actually, Bellridge model is just a way to conclude the entire workshop, right? Looking at the organizational profile section of the model, across the top, leaders must first be able to understand the business environment and the strength and weakness of the organization and their current strategic position. Have you gone through the strategies topic? So again, to identify and select alternative strategic options. For a proper evaluation of the strategic option, business leader must also take into account the risk factor. Have you gone through the risk topic? But must clearly understand and focus on building strong and productive relationship with the customers as the immediate source and creator of value. For any strategy to be implemented successfully, which may involve change, some of its potentially disruptive business leader may primarily focus on its customer, but also on the workforce and on the effective management of operation and processes carried out by the workforce to ensure that the strategy is implemented successfully and to deliver the desired result. Have you gone through the change management? As shown at the right hand of the side of the model, the result obtained from implementing the corporate strategy must be monitored and measured through the use of analysis of data and knowledge management. Box number 4, to ensure that the performance excellence is increased, competitiveness is achieved. Have you gone through the big data analytics, the data analytics YouTube lecture, and these slides that I've already shared you? If results indicate underperformance or lack of competitiveness, then the next step is to address why this is and examine the key elements of the model and try to create improvement in the competitiveness and performance. Is it clear to everyone? How the Bellridge model could be examined in SBL? Let's look at this. As already explained, the Bellridge model is a comprehensive and holistic approach to measuring the performance and increasing competitiveness. An SBL question could either focus on how the model could be used to monitor and measure performance, but could also involve using the model to identify problems and improve the situation in which an organization finds itself. The following is an example of how SBL requirement could cover the Bellridge model. Scenario, background, ABC product and geographical structure. ABC company is a drug and vaccine manufacturer with 2 manufacturing plants based in 2 different countries, country Y and country Z. It has designed a vaccine to immunize people against a new virus. I guess he is talking about coronavirus. It sells its vaccine at a price which gives it a very small gross margin and has had pre-orders for 2 governments with which it has signed formal contracts for the delivery of specified quantities of vaccine at different times and at fixed prices. The government of country Y placed its order first for an early consignment, but country Z had subsequently placed a larger order for a later consignment, which they were promised would be fulfilled when due. The government of country Y received most of its vaccine supply from the plant situated in country Y, but was also getting additional supplies from the bigger plant in country Z. So they are getting two supplies from two different countries. One is their own and the other one is country Z. Contractual production and obligation operational problem. After mass production has begun, ABC company began having problems in its major production facility in country Z with the supply of glass vials, small bottles into which the vaccine is dispensed during production, as well as experiencing technical problems with the production process. There was also significant workforce absenteeism due to sickness from the virus, which the vaccine is intended to prevent. As a result, ABC company was unable to fulfill its large order to the government of country Z from that plant alone. Potential legal action by the customer. The company is now being threatened with the legal action by the government of country Z for the non-fulfillment of its order. ABC company argued that it was unable to deliver the vaccine because of its problem in its plant in country Z, and because the factory in country Y was still fulfilling the remaining amount of the prior orders placed by the government of that country. Financial implications. ABC company now faces a contingent liability to pay considerable damages to the government of country Z, and is also losing money because the planned volume being produced across both its plant are not being achieved to fully cover the development and other fixed costs. Requirement. You are a management consultant with business expertise. Now, this is something which is important. Just give your 100% attempt. Commissioned by the board of ABC company to advise them on their current situation. Don't you think so that the above situation is relating to a holistic viewpoint? So over here, applying more than one model and maybe taking into consideration each and everything, each and every paragraph that has been shown to you, you can apply this specific model. That is the Bellridge model. Write a report to the board of directors of ABC company to analyze the ABC company's current position and recommend approaches that the company could adopt to help to improve its competitiveness and deliver the performances. Moving ahead, note SBL does not specify the model. This have been told to you several times to use, but it is clear from the wording of the requirement that the candidate should apply Bellridge model. However, in a live SBL exam, it would be appreciable to use alternative model. Do you get the answer of the question that have been triggering in your mind? That, sir, let's suppose if I'm applying pestle and my friend is applying sort model, will we be getting equal marks? Yes, 110% yes, if it is justified. Again, or even to use no specific model at all. Even if you are not using any specific model, you'll still be awarded marks. But again, best answer and good answer will have a differentiating element. To answer this requirement, as long as the requirement was being addressed. Now, tell me one thing. Suggested approach to answering this question. The approach to take in this technical requirement would be to use the element of Bellridge model as a heading in the report, starting with the organizational profile. See, now he is explaining many different things. Whenever I told you that you are going to write a report, didn't I say that you will be writing the report or writing any sort of answer? There should be an introductory paragraph. So what does he mean to say over here? The approach to take this technical requirement would be to use the element of Bellridge model as a heading in the report and starting with the organizational. So what do you mean by organizational profile? It is basically the introduction of the case. Title, report to ABC company on the current situation and recommendation to see, look at the format of the report as well. To board of directors from a consultant. Introduction. The current situation of ABC company faces a critical number of ways. Now, tell me one thing. Were you able to identify different sort of stakeholders in the above given scenario? Were you able to identify all sort of stakeholders that were given in the above scenario? So yes, look at this. Potential legal liability. Number one. This means a potential threat as well. This means that the government is being involved. This means that you might be blacklisted. This means that you will have a reputational concern. Number two, dissatisfaction of important customers. Maybe you might have to use the model of Mendelow's matrix. Low margins and profitability issues, you may reconsider the limiting factor. Supply issues, Porter diamond model, Porter value chain analysis. Operational processes problems and production, Porter diamond model. Staff shortages, no model. In section number 2, now you will not be applying each and every model. It mentions section 2 of this report. Where is this section number 1? This basically the above one is the section number 1. Introduction. The current situation of ABC company is critical in numbers of ways. Okay. In section 2 of the report, this is the second part. Just hold on your horses. Section 1 was something that I've written above, and section 2, now I'm starting the part of section 2 of the report. So it does not mean to relate to any other part of the report of section 2. It means that I'm going to write the second paragraph of the report. In section 2 of my report, I will analyze the current situation and the key areas of performance which need to be addressed, and I will include my recommendation under each heading. I'm going to recognize different heading, and back of the mind, I should have a model, maybe an appropriate model being played at the back of my mind. Organizational profile. ABC company is facing several strategic and operational problems. It has set pre-contracted prices which are too low, meaning that the shortfall of the production capability has led to a low volume being produced, then were required to cover the fixed cost. Furthermore, ABC company relies on 2 main customers for the sale of its entire output of the product, and one of them is extremely dissatisfied and it is threatening to sue the company. Finally, there are immediate inbound product supply problem, workforce, and operational issue. Can you tell me what model is being applied at the back of their mind? Values is a composition of many other models, na? So which model is being applied? No, this is value chain model. They are talking about inbound logistics. They are talking about the human resources. They are talking about each and everything. So backend pay, yeah, over here, what model is being applied? In values, they are applying the value chain. So it will be a very short model. It will be very composite model. You'll be writing just short paragraph, but you can see that this model is being applied. In Duel's question, examiner prepared the heading for all the 7 components of the model. Great. Just मैं तो बैलेज की बात कर रहा हूँ ना, बैलेज में यूज हो, ये तो आता तो है ना, तो बस इतना 5 inbound, 5 primary force support, ये पता होना. Okay, let's move forward. Now, leadership. The leadership of ABC company need to address these issues urgently and act proactively to understand the current position and how to improve it. It must do that by prioritizing which issues it must deal with based on importance and urgency. Clearly, the leadership should focus first on the foremost and on both its customers and their need, and also address their supply, workforce, operational issues, and to deliver the better results. So obviously in leadership, we don't have any specific sort of model. So you can apply a generic part in the leadership strategy. To resolve the issue facing ABC company, alternative strategies will be needed to be considered on how to manage the customers as immediate issues and how to improve the production capacity by addressing, as I told you, you need to go through the limiting factor once again, and you need to consider the alternative ways of satisfying your customers and how to improve the product capacity by addressing supply, workforce, and operational processes and problems. For the medium term, the company need to review the business model, such as their reliance on only two main customers and on its overall vaccine pricing. Then we have a model then we have the customers part. The company must engage positively and actively with its customers, with its two main customers, to ensure that it can eventually deliver on its contractual arrangement to both the governments. But first, it must establish exactly what its contractual obligations are and any flexibility there may be for any variation in the contract. Depending on any flexibility within the contract, ABC company must reassure both customers that it can deliver on its contractual arrangement within an acceptable time frame. In the short term, there may be need to import some of the output from the plant sited in country Y, or to reduce the export from the factory of country Z to country Y. These proposals must be subject to meeting acceptable delivery time for the completion of the prior order with country Y and also fulfill their overall contractual obligation. So over here, it means to say that we need to cut down the country Z's supply and we need to increase the country Y supply, because if we give country Y some sort of supply, they might not be penalizing us or they might not be in a dissatisfactory position. Change, right? Oh, say workforce. There seems to be workforce. So it's you must be getting what Bellage model is all about. It is just getting the situation and giving the right solution. It is a general model. It's basically a general model, but at the back of your mind, if you want, you can use different types of model in order to accumulate your answer. Yes, some of the part of your model in order to accumulate. But yes, complete specific models will not be applied in Bellage one. One more thing, as over here, Zephyr said, that if you want to practice this model, you can do dual company question in this, in which there is a Bellage model being applied, and I'll also share the answer of that specific question with you all. So, do you get what I'm trying to explain? Should I read the entire part? I guess we should read the conclusion so that we can have an insight of how to write conclusion in other answers as well, right? Let's look at the conclusion. ABC company is facing critical situation which it must address urgently. The most urgent is to effectively negotiate and manage the exceptions of its major customers, particularly to country Z, which is threatening legal actions. Identifying any flexibility offered within the contract terms. Secondly, it needs to address its vaccine supply problems by rescheduling its delivery to vaccine from both plants, working to increase its workforce availability and deal with the supply issues affecting the bottling of the product. There are other immediate operational processes and issues to resolve. But in the longer term, ABC company must look at its overall pricing model, its cost structure, and how to reduce its dependence on only two major customers by seeking other contract, possibly on better terms, written by a member of strategic business examining team. Isn't this something which is good? A good answer, maybe? Yes. So I hope so. You have a clear. Yes, you need to include these 7 different aspects which are already mentioned over here. You need to include these 7 different aspects in your answers, which are maybe the liability, these 7 different aspects: organizational profile, leadership, strategy, customers, workforce, operations, and measurement analysis knowledge. Or that specific model should be learned. The heading should be learned, and you will be writing the answer in accordance with that heading. Do you get this? That specific headings will be learned and you will be writing the answer in accordance with those specific 7 different headings. Is it clear to every one of you? Right. Now, there are other articles as well, but I would rather suggest to kindly go through these 3 different articles. Let's look at the principles of e-marketing, another important one. No, बड़ा नहीं. Simple. कल करा दो. Okay, how many of you? Okay, rather than I can understand you are right now. खुद पढ़ लेंगे. Okay. One more thing. नहीं, to be honest, very good. I can understand this is boring, but what can I do? Basically, I know this is a boring part of the class, but still, this is something which you need to be done. And sometimes some stuff are boring, but very important as well. Okay. Another thing. Let's just. One more thing. Tell me first, do you want to keep tomorrow's class face to face, or I mean hybrid, or only online? How many of you want tomorrow's class to be hybrid? It will be from 3 o'clock to maybe to 6 o'clock. How many of you want it to be hybrid? And how many of you want it to be only the online one?
Wait, whatever is feasible for you.
Hybrid. Since last 6 classes, he has been taking classes online and now he wants the hybrid class. Wow. Yes, how many of you want to take this class, tomorrow's class, to be online only? All online students, please let me know how many of you, no, all online students, please let me know how many of you want to take this class, tomorrow's class, to be online only, and how many of you would want to come to TSA and they'll be taking it hybrid. Depends upon the topic. I'll be covering the last part of the IAS. Obviously, you can't take a face-to-face class. You are not from Karachi, right? Basically, what we'll be doing some of the area of culture. I'll be going through another article, and I'll be going through another article and maybe some revision. Yes, tomorrow's class will be the last one. We'll be going from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Yes, I am doing the puppet model right now, and I'm also going through the balance scorecard. I'm doing puppet model right now, first of all, and then the balance scorecard. Although puppet model is not as important as you guys are concerned about, but yes, you can go through the puppet model within next 5 minutes. What are you trying to write? Okay, if you want to bring some questions relating to SBL, if you want to bring some questions relating to SBL, or if you have any questions to be corrected by me, you can bring tomorrow. We will keep it hybrid. We will keep it hybrid. I'll be reaching at 3 o'clock. We'll keep it hybrid tomorrow.
Yes, more latest I got.
Tomorrow it's basically Sunday, so don't worry about this. I don't think so. You'll be getting more, and I assume that we'll be ending it by 5 o'clock. maybe 3 to 5. We don't be needing more than 2 hours. So we'll be completing it within 2 hours. And the last 1 hour will be kept for your questions and any other confidence. It will be from 3 to 6. Tentatively, it will be from 3 to 6, but most probably we'll end by 5:30, 5 o'clock. Right? Okay. So, अगर heading नहीं में तो you, if you have identified it correctly, if you have identified it correctly, सही है. Yes, I will share. Okay, we have got 10 questions as well. Yes, I need to go through them. Just a minute, please. I need 1 more minute of yours. रुक जा भागे नहीं रुक. Now this is a handout which is most important question for revision by Sir Sheikh Bilal, and it remains the same for every single attempt. One more thing, this is a handout which I guess if you are going to go through this religiously, you will be revising the entire SBL exam, but without time constraint. Obviously, you will be revising the entire SBL exam within few hours. You can revise the entire SBL course within few hours. So if you want to revise evaluation skills and you want to go through the format of report and you want to test the topic of 6 capital and integrated reporting, this is the same topic. I don't know what your name was. वो कल शेयर तो किया उसने. Okay. Okay, specimen number 1. Let's just quickly go through this, please. Just give me next 5 minutes. It's a very easy handout. We need to go through this. If you want to go through the evaluation skills, I will be sharing this document. I will be sharing this document. Evaluation skills. The first thing is evaluation skills. If you want to revise evaluation skills along with the format of report, and you want to go through the topic of integrated reporting 6 capital, there is a question with specimen number 1, DCS company, question number 1A part 2. Then if you want to revise the communication on and commercial acumen skills, briefing paper format is being tested, and there is the topic of strategic change management. Go through my mock exam, my mock number 2 of question number 1B. Now, obviously, you won't be having mock number 2 right now, but once you are done with the mock, you can, revise that mock exam once again. Evaluation skills. Skepticism skills. If you want to revise briefing paper and letter format, and you want to go through the topic of corporate governance and internal controls, you can revise rail company, question number 2A-B, question number 1B, specimen number 2. If you want to revise communication skills, you want to go through the format of report, project team management, go through question number 3A, 4AB of specimen 3. And last but not the least, if you want to revise the commercial acumen and communication skill, go through the presentation and you want to go through the presentation slide format, email, letter, and briefing note format, you want to revise KPI, that is key performance indicator, change management, and restructuring, go to question 3, A, B, and C from March 2020. These are benchmark questions that every SBL 2022 student should attempt, and time barred scenario in order to increase the confidence before the exam. You attain 20 easy marks for showcasing professional skills. Is it clear? Yes, I'm sharing this entire handout as well as a small video in which I've explained this. So I'll be sharing this. Let's have a break for at least 5 minutes, and then I'm going through the puppet model. Just 5 minutes, and then I'm going through the puppet model. समझ रहे? खैर है, अल्लाह खैर करेगा, आगे बढ़ते हैं. ओके, सो कौन सा वो भी भेज रहा हूँ. Rather than going into the puppet model right now, I guess we can have some areas relating to the data analytics. I just need 5 to 10 more minutes. This is the last topic of the day, and we'll be concluding the entire workshop tomorrow. The remaining portion will be done tomorrow, inshallah. Data analysis is defined. Okay. Data analysis. Data analysis is defined as a process of cleaning, transforming, and modeling data. Okay, transforming model data into, basically data analysis is to transform the big data into the smaller components, and let's suppose segmenting the data into smaller components that can be used for your structuring data into smaller components that can be used for your own personal benefit for business decision making. The purpose of data analysis is to extract useful information from data and taking the decision based upon the data analysis. A simple example of data analysis whenever we take any decision in our day-to-day life is by thinking about what happened last time or what will happen on choosing a particular decision. This is nothing but analyzing our past or future and making decisions based on it. For that, we gather memories from our past and dreams of our future. So that is nothing but data analysis. Now, same thing analyst does for the business purpose and is known as data analysis. Types of data analytics or data analysis techniques and methods. There are several types of data analytics techniques that exist based on business and technology. However, the major type of data analytics are text analysis and statistical analysis. Text analysis means the data that is available into text. If you segment it out into different prospects, you will get a better result and you'll be in a better way. For example, what Facebook is doing, what Twitter is doing, what Snapchat is doing, they are just analyzing your data and putting it in the right drawer. For example, if I'm the friend of Haque, And let's suppose if I like his picture and if I comment on his picture, then it is very obvious and very evident that my comment on his Facebook picture will be reviewed by him only or his friends. Why? Because this is how the data analytics filtration work. It says text analysis is also offered to as data mining. How to mine out the data, how to take out your data. It is one of the most important method of data analysis to discover a pattern in large data sets using database or data mining tools. It used to transform raw data into business information. Business intelligence tools are present in the market, which is used to take strategic business decisions. Overall, it offers a way to extract and examine data and driving patterns and finally interpreting the data. So basically, how to pattern it out? There are certain patterns, as I have told you in my corporate experience. I decided once to join a research company. So I was doing research on ceramic industry, but we had no data available to relating to ceramic industry. So what I tried doing is I tried finding some connections. Now, we didn't had the data relating to ceramics industry. So what we decided is that we had data available relating to steel and other form of industry. Now we found out a ratio of steel to ceramics and we replicated the steel data into ceramic industry. For example, for every 1 bar of steel, 2 by 2 tile of ceramic is being used. So for every 100 bar, it means 100 by 100 tile of ceramics is being used. So we decided the data on the basis of already given information. Then we have the statistical analysis. Now, what do you mean by statistical analysis? Statistical analysis shows what happened by using past data in the form of dashboard. Statistical analysis include collection, analyzation, interpretation, presentation, and modeling of data. It analyzes a set of data or a simple data. There are two categories of this type of analysis. Statistical analysis is more of a pictorial analysis of data. It is in the picture form. They analyze the data and translate it into picture. For example, the sensitivity analysis picture, the decision tree that you guys normally make in your examination is also a replication of the statistical analysis. Descriptive analysis. A descriptive analysis says that analysis complete data or a a sample of summarized numerical data. It shows mean and deviation of continuous data where percentage and frequency of categorical data. Like, so if you need to have, if there are certain percentages, for example, if I say the probability EV is expected value. So expected value says that, okay, percentage of data shows that there are 60% chances of failure of this product and 40% chances of positive impact of this product. If 60% chances will lead to sales, this means there are 30% chances that we are going to have a sales of 2 million. There are 30% chances that we are going to have sales of 4 million, and there are 10% chances that we are going to have, or maybe 30% chances of sales to be reaching a height of 60 million or 6 million. So this is how the percentage term data is being analyzed in the pictorial or statistical form. Last is the descriptive analysis. Now, what do you mean by descriptive analysis? Analysis complete data or sample of summarized numerical data. It shows mean and deviation of continuous data. So basically, it shows average data. It shows data on the sample size. It shows data if we are taking out some population or some sample out of a big population, and we are using that sample in order to predict the entire population. This will be known as descriptive data. So this is how the descriptive data work. And interferential analysis. Now, what do you mean by interferential analysis? Analysis sample from complete data. In this type of analysis, you can find different conclusions from the same data. Now, if one data is leading you to 3 conclusions, this is known as interferential data. So, yes, pivot table basically leads to different types of conclusion. So I hope so you all know or you have all gone through this. Now, in tomorrow's class, we'll be going through Puppet, we'll be going through balance scorecard, and we'll also be going through the one of the model. sorry, one of the articles that is being given, and we will be concluding the entire scenario. Climatic changes, yes, yes, changes. Culture, web, and change. Yes, we'll be going through these remaining parts. So I'm keeping it as a hybrid class tomorrow. Those who want to join it online, they can join online. Those who want to join it face to face, they can join face to face. We'll be meeting at 3 o'clock, and most probably will end at 5 or 5:30. Right? I hope so you all enjoyed today's class and the previous one as well. I'll also be having a 5 minutes of motivational part in my tomorrow's class, and I hope so that you all are motivated. Right? Let's meet tomorrow.